we're pushing ourselves into a new danger zone. At the same time, obesity is at a record high. Time for a reality check. Each week, a Superskinny is entering this feeding clinic and swapping their diet with a Supersizer. Overseeing this radical overhaul in their feeding habits is Dr. Christian Jessen.
I'm hoping this shock tactic will encourage them both to form healthier eating habits.
On the surface, Amy Jo has a body to die for. What she doesn't realise is that if she doesn't change her lifestyle, it's a body to die in. Her seemingly flawless figure is the result of a strict diet and intense exercise regime. Looking good is her obsession, but at what cost?
I see a lot of women like Amy Jo who think they have a perfect body, but what they don't realise is they could actually be putting their health at serious risk.
At 5'7", Amy Jo should weigh around 9.5 stone.
Okay.
About 7.5 stone. Around the back.
In fact, she's a staggering 2 stone underweight.
So you are 24 inches. Come with me. I've worked out that your BMI is 16, and a healthy BMI is from 20 to 25. It essentially works out how much actual mass there is in your body and whether your weight is appropriate to your height. 16 is not ideal.
That's quite a shock. I didn't realise it was that low.
Why is it like that?
I don't really know. I thought I was just extra healthy and just ate all the right foods, but clearly I don't.
27-year-old events organiser Amy Jo appears to lead a normal and conventional life with her fiancé Andy and her 4.5-year-old daughter Megan. But when it comes to dinner time at home, she's dishing herself up a potentially damaging diet.
If I'm cooking a meal for the other guys, then they'll obviously have carbs and they'll have pasta and potatoes, but I'll skip the carbohydrate part of the meal and just have the vegetables and the fish.
If you've been out the night before, if she's been out and eaten a big meal with everybody, she will consciously go and run down the gym. She doesn't stop, she just keeps going.
The exercise that I do is quite kind of a lot of cardio.
She's always down the gym. She'll drop Meg off at school, she'll be down the gym.
But it makes me feel really good about myself, and the next day I wake up and I feel like I've got more energy and ready to do stuff.
In someone who is as fit and active as Amy Jo, she's actually doing herself a real disservice and affecting her athletic performance by cutting carbs out from her diet.
It's time for a shock tactic. Amy Jo is about to get a heavyweight opponent.
My ultimate nightmare for a diet partner would be junk food, fizzy drinks, chips, burgers, chocolates.
Her Supersize partner, Andy from Preston, outscales all Amy Jo's tiny proportions.
Jump on there for me.
Starting with his weight.
That's about 35 stone.
Andy's thigh is 6 inches bigger than Amy Jo's waist. There's a massive 27.5 stone difference between these two, and they're about to swap diets meal for meal.
How do you feel about sharing now this week with one of these very underweight people and swapping their diets and things?
I'm very nervous.
Are you?
Yeah, I don't know, just because of obviously the portions are going to be a lot lower, the fear of being constantly hungry. But I also see it as a way forward and something that's going to change my life dramatically.
And finally, it's time for Supersize to face up to Superskinny.
Feeling very apprehensive about the whole thing, quite scared, because I obviously don't know what the other person's like.
I'm really nervous at this moment in time. I really don't know what to expect.
Hello!
Pleased to meet you. I'm Andy.
Amy, nice to meet you.
I'm 32. I'm from Preston. I've got 4 children and I've been married for 8 years. Sorry, I didn't expect you. You look really thin. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at your wrist. Your wrist looks so tiny. Can I get my whole hand around you?
Can I just have a look? Can you
Of course you can, yeah, by all means. First impressions, go on, be honest. Shocked?
Yeah, I kind of am actually, a little bit.
I can imagine.
Oh, it's just a shock. It was really, really strange and bizarre. I've never met anyone that's that big before, and I think he was quite shocked with my appearance as well, and especially I think my stomach and my wrists.
I didn't expect you to look so sort of midriff, so so thin, so tiny. I think her upper arm is probably the same size as my wrist. It was just a complete shock. It's not what I expected at all. I think I'll struggle with her diet, but I think with my diet she will definitely struggle.
The diet swap will give both Amy Jo and Andy serious food for thought. But first, there's an eye-popping surprise in store to highlight the difference between their weekly food intakes to shock them into shape.
You think your diet's a good, healthy, balanced one, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Let's have a look at what you get through for breakfast during the course of the week, all right? I think you had one portion of scrambled eggs and toast, which is good, but you tend to only get through a bowl of cereal, don't you, in the morning?
Yeah.
I want to have a look at what you tend to get through for lunches during the course of a week, OK? It tends to be a piece of ham or a stick of celery or two, doesn't it? There's not a lot that's going to keep you going for very long, is there? Let's have a look at what you tend to have for dinners. So tuna, and you like your soups. I don't really have a problem with all these sorts of foods. This is all good, but there's not enough starchy food there. Andy, what do you think?
That's more like a day, really, than a week.
The average woman's recommended intake is 2,000 calories a day. And with her rigorous exercise regime, Amy Jo should be eating at least 2,400. She's actually consuming just 1,700 calories, so she's under-eating nearly 5 days' worth of food every week. Her body is missing out on vital carbohydrates, something that won't be a problem when she takes on Supersize Andy's diet.
Bacon rolls.
Yeah.
Lots of this milk, so loads of calories in that. OK, nice, buttery, full-fat pastry. Lots of carbohydrate in the pastry. Yeah. Where are we up to now, would you say?
This is my tea.
You snack as well between your meals, don't you?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of crisps.
An average man should be consuming 2,500 calories a day, whereas Andy's getting through almost 3 times that amount. That's a staggering 49,000 calories every week, or an overeat of 14 days.
So shake each other's hand, wish each other luck.
Good luck.
Yes.
I'll help you.
Yes, I'll help you.
And we're going to go for it from now on, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Coming up, Amy Jo gets supersized.
I reckon I might put on a stone in that meal.
In that meal.
Anna Richardson throws her toys out of the pram.
You know when babies do this? I know why.
And Gillian's on the warpath as she continues her campaign to reduce the nation's rears.
Have you got a tone bottom or not? I can help you get a tone bottom. Stop right there, madam!
Supersize Andy is helping carb-averse Amy Jo to relax about food, and Superskinny Amy Jo is teaching Andy about smaller portions, and they're doing this by swapping diets. It's their first breakfast, and for Andy, it's a small bowl of low-calorie cereal.
There is a lot less there than I would normally eat for my breakfast, but only time will tell, really, whether I start to feel hungry very quickly. At the moment, I don't feel full.
And for Amy Jo, it's toast, toast, and more toast.
My stomach feels like it's just going... feels like it's kind of opening up to make room for all the bread that's going in.
After just one carb-filled feast, Amy Jo's feeling more bread than alive.
I feel like I've got a little bit of overhang here, which I probably have, actually. It needs to, it needs to expand, ready for the next load that's going to go in.
But when it comes to oversized amounts of food, Supersize Andy is a connoisseur.
Thanks very much.
He's spent most of his life on a high-sugar, high-snack and fat-fueled binge.
Even as a small child growing up, the diet wasn't the greatest. God rest her soul, my mum, she used to cook everything with lard and cooking fat. You do realise that right from the word go, was setting the wrong diet in place for me.
Andy's love of saturated fat means that crisps form an important cornerstone of his diet.
My favourite food is definitely crisps and snacks, but I do enjoy a good curry and any sort of takeaway food, sort of the wrong things for you. Anything takeaway I love. My weight's really started to have a big impact on my life, and especially with my children. I can't interact with them as much as I'd like to. I want to put that right.
The way I feel at the minute is things aren't going to get better,
and I've tried to talk to him, I've tried shouting at him, and I've basically just said to him that there's two paths that you're going to take now. At one end of the path is me and the children, and, you know, we want you, and at the other end of the crossroads is a coffin.
But for now, it's Amy Jo who's tucking into Andy's bad diet of a nice greasy takeaway.
I reckon I might put on a stone in that meal.
Amy Jo's cooked up a family favourite, pasta with ratatouille. But just like she does, Andy will have to do without the carbs.
Okay, so unfortunately, you can't actually have pasta.
OK.
Because I skip the pasta and just have that as it is.
OK.
I'm sorry about that.
No problem. It was a big shock when the pasta was taken away. It's not something I would ever have eaten, just because it looked so tomatoey. And one of my things is I don't particularly like tomatoey things.
Just that is just like my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Is it all onion?
How does it feel actually eating that many carbs for you? You dinner?
Feels quite strange actually, because I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
I think that actually, that whole naan would just fill me up.
Yeah, just on its own.
That's a meal in itself to me. That was horrible. I didn't enjoy that at all. It was just not the meal that, well, I'd ever have, actually. I don't think I can eat anymore. I think I'm done. It was stodgy and just, it was just awful. And I keep burping from it. It was really horrible.